they keep calling you a recycler of news and memes and stuff. Kevin D. Blanche channel is someplace where you can see what Fukushima is effing up the salmon fishing industry, which is now closed. Really? You're new here. By the government. Check out his video. Now, are you still going to eat a salmon? Yes, I will. Or a can of salmon, definitely. On your channel. I'm not going to eat on camera because I have busted teeth, and honestly, I don't pay attention to what I look like when I'm eating. It apparently is frightening. Or will you be eating crow? Now, the title he gave me does actually lead to a video that has these words in it, so I'm just going to use it for this video. If you were looking at a video by Kevin Blanche, who got cancer from drywall, not from Fukushima, he has a video that apparently includes the names of the Alaska. He didn't spell out Oregon, Washington, California. Collapse, emergency closure of what? And it's apparently salmon industry. I'm just doing it from this comment. And UN operating Tomodachi. Now, okay, so the UN is operating something called Tomodachi, or it was Operation Tomodachi? Well, we're going to go into it. Now, this is where you look up keywords for things, but don't combine them. If you include closure, UN operating Tomodachi, or whatever, you're going to find his video, and you're going to find loopbacks to him about people mentioning it. That's not how we look things up. This is the Alaskan salmon industry activist Wikipedia page from 2007, not the current year. Alaska did not always have healthy stocks of salmon. It grew rapidly with the expansion of the cannery, 1920s, and it gives you the history of it. Overfishing is the rule off of the Alaska coastline. And the top line here hasn't been changed. No one's gone through this article and corrected it, but I want to point out something. Someone in 2007 was very passionate about pointing out why the salmon industry, being regulated illegally by the U.S. government, and they're making the frogs turn gay, actually made it to where they didn't overfish it. This happened in Washington and California and Oregon, too. Yeah, telling people you can't just strip mine the ocean will reduce losses. But how effective is this? Now, if you look up closures, the history of closures, you find out something very interesting. Look up fishing industry closures, and you don't find a list of them because most people, they don't want to tell you how often this happens. So let's look it up by really simple. I only looked up Alaska, okay? Because Alaska is the one that was actually spelled out in the name. Let's just do that. You can do Washington, California, Oregon. You can do Canada. There's another country between the United States and Alaska. It's called Canada. If you look up Canadians, they don't listen to this fear-mongering. But anyway, this is the newer version of it just a little while later. What you do is you look for the view history and then go to the bottom until it shows you all 500, and then you look for every time somebody felt a need to delete a bunch of stuff and look at the copy just before it to find all of the opinions and statements here. Somebody is sitting on this on this Wikipedia article, and that's all there is to it. So that's it. So we go on to the next page here. Canada, yes, Canada sees a shock salmon glut in 2010, following 2 decades of decline in salmon run numbers because it's freaking salmon. They spawn upriver and go back to the ocean. If you overfish them, you kill them off. Got it? How many of you eat canned salmon or have salmon as an ingredient in something? Well, the salmon go to wherever they go to. All right? You can read history on this and not listen to a YouTuber, including me. Links below in the description, because don't trust, just test every source. 2010 again. Fishermen protest law that's closing many areas to fishing after a glut happened because they finally got away with making it to where the deadliest catch wasn't killing off the fish. Yes, this is called being environmentally knowledgeable, which means it screwed over the commercial and also private, little man fishing groups, and it caused a huge rift. But if they didn't do that, it wouldn't force the situation to maintain the animal numbers. Well, we make a living off of it, yes. And you strip mine the ocean, and yeah, ma and pa kettle fishermen in the ocean are still doing the same amount of damage, or the same kind of damage, not as much. Most of this was factory overfishing, okay? And bounty fishing. And what they did is they had to place restrictions on it. Trade deficit, who's responsible? Yeah, well, we want to make sure that we have salmon runs. Look at the time and date stamp. These rules and restrictions are put in place when there's plenty of fish and not enough fish. It's done based on making sure next year's spawn or this year's spawning is successful. It's based on the ratio of young and old fish. You don't know that? I had to learn that. I learned that in school. But anyway, maybe I'm wrong. Fisherman's news. What about fisherwoman's? Totally triggered. 2013. Government shutdown. Oh, by the way, did you know that sometimes they shut down literally the fishing industry in some areas, or just private fishing like you and I would do, because they don't give out permits or something? I don't know. You get to read it. This is fishermansnews.com, 2013. You got to spend $3 on this PDF, apparently. From bad to worse, state announces more king salmon fishing shutdowns for that valley, 2018. Not the current year. But, you know, Kevin Blanche is going to be a rebel. Southeast Alaska sees widespread salmon closures because they're all irradiated since 2010. Government shutdown made hamper Alaska's lucrative fishing industry the current year. Oh, you thought it was nuke? You thought it was Fukushima? Fucktard fearmongering. Alaska salmon fishing industry revision history. Harsh BMW 2000 sat on this article. He's an activist. Who's sitting on it lately? Look at the name that comes up most. Perhammer. Well, actually, it's got a mix of people. So let's go on to the next. Operation Tomodachi is not an operation running someplace called Tomodachi. It was supported disaster relief in 2011. Is it still running? It stopped running in May of 2011. Operation Tomodachi is no longer existent. Is Kevin Blanche acknowledging that? Let's see if there's more. Timeline. It stopped in 2012, apparently. Cleanup efforts. Criticism. Sure. The word Tomodachi means friends in Japanese, and it was part of an operation that was to assist the Japanese after 2011 earthquake and tsunami, not the nuclear fallout. And again, if you listen to the rebel, you're not going to get straight answers. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that.